All right, Lynn, welcome to the podcast, episode 197, getting closer and closer to 200, which is pretty cool. How you doing, Lynn? Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It's good to have you. Um, there's a few things I want to talk about in particular. Would definitely want to expand more on what you guys do with OneOf and like what your guys' goals are, what your guys' mission is, like what you're trying to accomplish. Before we do that, would love to learn more about yourself. Tell me a bit more about your background, your story. How did you get into this wonderful world of crypto and blockchain?
Yeah, I'm a tech nerd. I went to Carnegie Mellon University, started my first company out of my dorm, and eventually ended up actually taking that company public. It was a like teen social media company. After that, I spent a few years over at major media companies such as Alloy that owned Gossip Girls, Vampire Diaries, and MS Communications that owned, the radio stations Hot 97 in New York and Power 106 in LA. So primarily really looking at how to kind of get traditional media company into kind of the digital space in general. So there's a fun story that like at one point, Funk Master Flex, who's like the legendary DJ on Hot 97, pulled me aside. It was like, Lynn, you have to leave the company. They'll never let you do, everything you're meant to do. So so it was a little bit of a wake up call. I ended up deciding to get back into a startup world, joined a mobile video company in Canada. So and that was a fun few years. And then decided to move back to we ended up taking that company public as well in Canada. Came back to New York, got together and really met my mentor and Sherpa in the blockchain space, Bill Tai. And this was like 2015. And Bill was like really like, a pioneer, early investor in the blockchain space. Was, the talks as early as 2015 was like, how do we use blockchain technology for non-financial applications, right? Like, how does this apply to other industries? So, with my background in music and entertainment, so that was kind of like a hot topic that we were thinking as early as 2015, how to really apply this technology. And then I ended up building a B2B blockchain software company, kind of working from within, and building blockchain software for companies like Warner Music Group and Uber, and really got a better understanding what like kind of industry players is looking for. And then 3 years ago, Bill came to me and was like, you have to look at these blockchain cats. So it's CryptoKitties. And it was like a really powerful example of how, kind of digital assets could be uniquely identified and authenticated. So we're like, wow, this is like a brand new way for artists to potentially directly monetize any type of digital work with their fans, right? Like up to this point, artists, are at the mercy of streaming platforms that, maybe pays them like a penny a stream, right? And that's if you're lucky, if you're a big enough artist that their algorithm actually displays your work to the listeners. So we got to work on the technology and kind of, the fun story is we worked on this for, I worked on the technology for years. And then, when it was kind of almost ready, I called up my partner, Josh, who's one of my good friends for 15 years. And I was like, oh, we gotta do this music NFT company. And this was like, early 2020, and Josh was like, what is an NFT? And then like after he got, like understood what this could mean for musicians and everything, he said, we had to call Adam. So Adam Fell is our third partner, who is president of Quincy Jones Productions. So we really want Quincy to be part of this project. And it was the same. Adam was like, what is an NFT? So and quickly, with him and Quincy really realized what a big deal this is for musicians, kind of, and how this is kind of, in their words, it's kind of the most significant advance in technology in the music industry since streaming, right? So this is as important, if not more important. So yeah, so the rest is history. Then the last kind of this year, the last kind of 10 months has been a huge acceleration of the entire space.
Yeah, why is this a big deal for musicians? Like with NFTs, I've heard this a million times over, and I do see the opportunity. But what is it with NFTs and musicians that you guys see that is going to be very beneficial for them?
Yeah, so if you think about the traditional music business model, there are two things very significant. One is with NFTs, like the musicians and artists no longer have to collateralize your future revenue stream, right? So if you think about, an artist want to put out a record, usually the way to do it, you sign a recording contract with a record company. And you get an advance, you go make your album, but you collateralize your future earnings, right? So the record label takes a large percentage of your record sales for a very long time. The second way for artists to make money is touring, right? So you basically then you sign a tour promoter deal with a Live Nation or another promoter. So you collateralize your tour ticket sales. If you're a songwriter, you collateralize, you sign a publishing deal. Publishing company writes your advance check, and you basically give up the rights to monetize your directly your songwriting revenue. So NFT is different. NFTs doesn't require you to pre-collateralize anything, right? So this is like a very fundamental change how business works. If you can go to your community and your fan base to say to pre-announce a project, right? I want to write a new album. I want to put together this new tour. Who is in, right? Like who want to support me? And for the fans, it's even more important because this is the first time you can actually participate in the artist's career. It's very different. Before, it's always a one-way street, right? Your favorite artists, as much as you love them, they're always like give, right? Like I will, come to my show, buy my tickets, buy my merch, buy my listen to my music streaming, right? Like buy my downloads. So this is the first time the artist is like, hey, if you believe in me and buy my NFTs, you're coming along for the ride, right? Like everybody benefits when I win my next Grammy or when I do my next collabo with Kanye West, right? So this is very exciting. You're basically now the fan is part of the artist's core journey, right, of growth.
Yeah, I see a lot of artists jumping on board and doing this. Is this going to be potentially the future of doing drops and singles and features and releasing albums potentially through NFTs as utility?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're early. Artists are experimenting, right? So we did a big drop with the DJ Alesso, who's a big EDM DJ who just headlined Electro Daisy Carnival in Vegas. So he did a drop where it's a exclusive unreleased track, right? So he wrote the song, and I was on a bunch of interviews with him where he was talking about when he writes music, he sees colors, right? So he sees different colors, and this is he partnered with a great visual art firm, Rough Draft, that basically then took whatever his visual was and put that into kind of this world. It's cosmic genesis, right? It's about the formation of the universe and the planets, and it's very colorful interpretation. And that song and that music video then is divided into different chapters, but you collect different NFTs and you form the full song, right? So, and then once you form the full song, it comes with additional in real life experiences and utilities, right? So you can now some of these now comes with golden tickets, right? If you form the song, you can now actually go to his concerts and backstage passes. The higher tier, diamond tier NFTs. If you have one of those, you can get a free table, VIP table at his Vegas residency when he plays at Tao. And we even have a if you own the one of one, right, like NFT for the whole song, not only do you have like extended material and it's a longer cut of the special cut of the video, it comes with a ticket to go into space, right? So because his whole song is about the genesis of the cosmos, so we partner with a space company, Worldview, to actually, the owner of the NFT have 2 years to pick like when they want to go into space, and they can trade the NFT to other space lovers, right? So like my wife already told me I'm not allowed to go into space, so
so you're not allowed to buy it.
So yeah, but but there are like this is kind of just about if you think about this is now this whole collection encompasses not only music, a new way to release music, but new way to do ticketing and VIP ticketing for tours, and also in real life experiences that's beyond even music. And I think that is kind of the formula for the future of what a thoughtful way to directly for a musician to directly go to their community and release like content and tour. It's a whole package.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of going about and leveraging NFTs. Now I want to go to space. Maybe I'll buy that NFT. Who knows? That's really cool though. And I noticed that you guys decided to build your platform on Tezos too, instead of Ethereum or another competitor. Why Tezos? What are the benefits to doing it that way?
Yeah, Tezos has a few really great advantages, right? So I can talk about the technical ones. That was an early decision where, music NFTs is very different than kind of crypto art NFTs, right? Like art traditionally always has been like kind of a one-of-one elitist, like sells for millions of dollars, right? So that's what you think about like art when you think about that. So it's okay if you're selling something for $100,000, it's okay to pay $500 minting fee. So that's not the case for music. Musicians care. There are two things that's really important. Number one is they don't want to be perceived as only catering to their wealthiest fans, right? So doesn't matter if Taylor Swift sells one NFT for $1 million or sells 1 million NFT for $1. She still make $1 million, but musicians like her really would prefer to kind of cater to the broader fan base. So that requires you can't sell an NFT for $1 if the minting cost is like $800, right? So we have a really low cost, low transaction fee chain. So Tezos kind of fits the bill. But the second thing is also environmental concerns, right? Every music artist. So we did a collection, our first collection with Doja Cat. So Doja Cat, #1 streaming female artist on all the streaming platform right now in the world. She actually announced that she was going to do an NFT collection before she even met us, and she got thousands of fans writing her on Twitter. That's like, have you considered environmental impact? How can you do this, right? So like, I think a lot of people don't understand using minting NFTs on proof of work blockchains is perceived to be very damaging to the environment, right? So calculations are, it takes the electricity that powers your house, an average household for 5 days just to mint an NFT. That's kind of crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Especially when there are kind of low energy options on proof of stake networks or on L2 projects. There's a lot of great innovations on different blockchains. So Tezos is actually specifically very energy efficient. It's 2 million times more energy efficient than kind of traditional proof of work networks. And the third thing, which is, as we launched our project and really got involved in the Tezos NFT community, it is the greatest, kind of NFT community there is. Just a quick example, right? So very recently, one of the biggest art NFT projects on Tezos, Hic and Nunc, the UI of Hic and Nunc temporarily went down, and the community came together, and literally within hours, there's Hic and Nunc.art that got spun up just by community members, right? So this is like Web3. This cannot be killed. This cannot be, because a website went down. Your assets are safe, it's, so the transaction volume came right back up, right? So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so this is really tremendous how it's now like this is probably the most decentralized art NFT marketplace in the world right now. It's entirely run by the community. There's no founder running that. There's no company running that. Everybody just chipping in what they can, right? Some of the best technologists are donating their time and server time. I was so moved. Hackathon is one of the reasons where it inspired me to actually get involved with the Tezos blockchain ecosystem. So we're making a donation to keep the the server and pinging services going and whatever that's needed. And we're also, because this also leads to, kind of a moment we think. So coming up doing Miami Art Week, during December 1st and 2nd, OneOf is already planning kind of a 2-day immersive art and music event, right, called OneOf.world. And we've been speaking with the Hikkanung art community, and we're going to dedicate 1 day of exhibit just to Hikkanung artists, right? So Hikkanung.art, you can go kind of just submit to and it's super inclusive. Anybody want to exhibit their work, well, exhibit it, right? So we have this 360-degree immersive experience. And everybody was like, why would you do this? This is not our company at all. But this is, kind of I think this is an example where traditional art world, how NFT art world and NFT communities are so different than traditional world, right? So, I think the press narrative generally are how does a community recover from a website, your central marketplace website go down? And that's only 10% of the story, right? The 90% of the story is how the community came together. Hikkanung.art is thriving and processing tens of thousands of transactions and has tens of thousands dollar worth of single item auctions every day. It's to the people that actually built it, this is a project that actually belongs to the people, and that's why we're part of the Tezos NFT community.
Got it. So that, I imagine, also plays into you guys being a green NFT platform too, because I saw that on your guys' website.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So you can any to a broader sense, I think any company thinking about any project of building NFTs these days, if you're not considering doing it in a sustainable way, then these projects are kind of all for a quick cash grab, right? So
sure.
It's only sustainable until we've been all in blockchain space for 7-8 years, right? We've seen the cycles. It's the company that actually is thoughtfully thinking longer term, and certainly Ethereum longer term is very viable as as they move to proof of stake, but that is a work in progress, right? So
right.
So Tezos today is just I think the best choice for a lot of musicians. That is the biggest musicians in the world are kind of environmentally conscious, and this is kind of the right home for them. And OneOf is this is one big part of our pillar, right? We have 3 pillars. It's artist first. It's for every fan. We don't want to just make $1 million NFTs. We want to make NFTs affordable for everyone. And the third thing is we want to do this in an environmentally sustainable way.
Got it. That makes sense. Can you guys do batching as well? Some platforms don't allow you to do that, but some people want to do massive collections and they want to put them all out at once. Are you guys able to do that on your platform and through Tezos?
Yeah, so that's another kind of technology challenge that kind of we solve, right? So we kind of introduced a new minting method on Tezos called Powermint. What that allows us to do, right? If you think about our goal is not necessarily cater to the current crypto whales, if you will. It's really about how do we use the power of music and our artist partners as a gateway to introduce this technology, this art form to millions of kind of casual or curious fans, right? We care about the next 100 million, consumers that get on blockchain. And this is like the way, we think this is the easier understand way. Everybody understands like, hey, like if, my favorite artist is putting out a new exclusive single, there's a limited edition of like 1,000 or 10,000 and I can buy it for $5. Like, I would love to be the first one to show I'm the biggest fan, right? So, in that sense, we make the UI super easy. Any 14-year-old fan can just sign up with a phone number and email, and you can purchase. If you don't have a crypto wallet, no problem. You can purchase with a credit card. Everything, the entire process takes you 2.5 minutes. So that's kind of the goal for us to do that. So we perfected this going back to Powermint. Our first collection was with to celebrate iHeartRadio Music Festival, right? So iHeart, that's a legendary festival with the biggest artists like Billie Eilish and Kid Laroi and everyone. So Journey, like this year, performed. We basically were like, well, like let's just give away the NFT to everyone. So, and not only just the people who were lucky enough to attend this in real life. There's 20,000 people that show like that was at the nightly performances, and maybe up to 100,000 people during the day. We're about the millions of people at home watching this from live stream. So we minted 1 million NFT in a single night. That has never been done on any blockchain, right? So the speed and throughput. So that is a batch minting kind of process that we call Powermint. And the minting 1 million NFT costed us about $2.60 worth of Tezos through our kind of Powermint method. That's tremendous, right? That means like artists and creators don't have to even consider minting costs as part of the equation. You can, like I'm happy to subsidize all our artist partners' costs, right? So our artist partner who work with us pay zero minting fees. So they have a canvas to potentially, they can sell NFT for $1 million if they want, but the more powerfully they can sell NFTs for $5, for $1, give away for free, right? So that's kind of we think is a game changer.
Yeah, that openness and optionality is really, really important for artists and gives them different methods to go about, doing things with NFTs. So that's really cool. Touching on, I guess the future of NFTs, with where NFTs are now, what do you see them evolving into going forward?
Yeah, I think what's really interesting to me is where kind of the digital and physical world intersect. Right. So there's the metaverse and then there's the physical verse, right? So when it's not only that like, hey, like your NFT can be a playable character in the metaverse. I think everybody has thought through that, and there's some like really cool work being done by Sandbox and others that's already like making this a reality, right? So, but what's also interesting is is how to kind of connect that like into like we done things like your NFT leads to tickets, right, to like a physical concert or VIP experience with your favorite artist. But what if you were at the concert and the artist halfway through the set like blows a kiss into the crowd, and you reach your phone and you catch that kiss, and that's a 100 person can catch that, and that's an NFT, right? And that NFT now unlocks extra experiences in the metaverse, right? So how digital flows into physical, and how physical then flows back into digital, that whole loop is, I think, where things gets really interesting. So artists can, if you think about for music artists, right now primarily they're trying to monetize their recording or monetize their physical touring. If there's a new kind of category now, is this like how do they kind of interact with fans in kind of this digital universe, right? And that doesn't have to be a completely isolated experience. I think when that flows like very seamlessly into physical experiences is where we are kind of really looking to do a lot of experimentation. Like the partnership with iHeartRadio Music Festival is a good example of that. The partnership with Worldview Spaceflight is a great example of that also, that like an NFT actually puts you, the holder, not the NFT into space, but puts you, the token holder, into space. And we just did a drop this week that with the artist Chief Keef and his longtime collaborator Colorful Moolah. So it was a generative collection, 4,444 glows. So they'll glow, these are characters that's actually already part of a called popular toy line, right? So these glow men or glow boys, glow girls together, it's the glow gang. There's physical merch already attached to it. There's like VIP concert experiences with the artist. There's additional work being done on like combining these glows for glow babies. So we're having a lot of fun with this. This is like 2021, kind of like everything and anything is possible, which is really exciting. So I mean, we rely a lot on kind of not only our own creative team, but like externally partnership with like, music artists and art artists are just some of the most creative people ever, right? Like a lot of times, like I'm blown away about the things they are already thinking about. They're just like, is this possible? Or like, I was like, yeah, let's like, we'll make it possible, right? So we'll talk to the tech team and we'll make it possible. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting what can be done with NFTs, especially the whole idea of NFTs and metaverses. So very excited how that kind of pans out over the next couple of years, and especially as metaverses keep growing in popularity. Anyways, Lin, this is a good place for us to wrap up. Where should people go to catch up and follow OneOf and yourself online? What's your social media? The website's right there, oneof.com. Where else should people go?
Yeah, social media is just at OneOf NFT, and then my personal handle is the Points Dai, THE Points DAI. So.
Okay, perfect. Lin, thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. Really appreciate it, and for elaborating on OneOf and what you guys are doing. It's very exciting.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, talk to you again in the future. Otherwise, see you next time.
Thank you.